So we're just going to take a look at what I was thinking here for the Stridsvagn 74. This is on the test server, so take it as you will, but it's still a pretty good match. We're gonna actually take a look here at the tactics, or what I was thinking towards the end of the match here. We're gonna speed this up first though to 4x here to get into a position. Uh, Playing this vehicle over on the east side is a pretty smart idea because you have very little armor, but you have a great amount of depression. So hills are going to be really beneficial to this thing. We'll slow this down here again to 2 speed. Or normal speed, I'm sorry. And again, we're going to get up here on the hill. You guys can see where I actually are climbing pretty slow here with a moderate horsepower to weight ratio, but a few things you'll notice first off is that the shelf life time on these things are pretty slow. However, the penetration on the gun and the overall accuracy is pretty good. We'll speed this up here again. It was just going back and forth playing on the hill, and we light up a tank destroyer in the back here. We take some shots at him. We can see his round came in. That was also pretty slow. But we're going to take a look here and pay special attention to the trajectory of these shells. These shells seem to fly straight until the very end, and then they drop off a bit, which is how we hit this IKV 90B twice. And we get that killed there invisibly. Next we see an AT-2 out at almost 500 meters, and we take some shots at him. Only one goes through, but he does die eventually to our allies. We're going to move up here to this next hill as we're going to keep up with our allies, as team play should always be the focus of World of Tanks. It's just team play, stick with your allies, stick in groups, focus down targets, knock them out there. And what I'm actually going to do here is I'm not going to move up to the north bridge just because we haven't seen a lot of their tanks. So I have a feeling that a lot of their tanks are actually covering the north bridge. So what we're going to do is we're going to move over here, again at double speed, towards the middle a bit more. And we see this SU-152, and I take a shot at him after he disappears, but the shell just flies way over him, again, because of that very slow shell flight time. But we see some other tanks pop up here behind cover as I look for them for shots, and we see this Stridsvagn 74 over here who's behind cover and using his tank like how I described. You want to play this tank hull down. You don't want to expose a lot of your vehicle because it is a very tall vehicle, but it's very narrow, so there's actually a good chance that shots will miss you at range. But we'll come back here. We'll speed this up here again because I see our guys in the north here are actually starting to get taken out by some invisible tanks that are over on the other side. So I'm not going to move up there because it's just going to add to the enemy's kill count. So I'm turning around here actually as I see our guys in the south are starting to get into a lot of trouble here. And I see the SU-85. I don't see him moving around, so I figure he might be AFK. So I'm moving to the south here. I take another shot at this SU-152, but none of them land, unfortunately. And the KV-2 also isn't trying himself because he's kind of derp sniping me in the back there. But we're going to keep moving south here as I'm looking around up north here. And it's at this point that I notice that one of the Stridsvagn 74s is playing very well. He's actually not spotted yet, but he has 2 kills. So there's 2 Stridsvagn 74s in the north, there's the tank destroyer in the north, and we have 4 guys pinned down actually by those guys up there. So what I'm just doing is I'm coming to the south side to at least hopefully pick these guys off as they come in, hopefully one at a time. But I see on the minimap that one of those tanks is an ONE, so I'm actually going to switch up to APCR here shortly. And I take a look at our SU-85 and I realize that, okay, he's behind a bush, he's behind cover, he's not AFK or inactive or didn't load, so he's actually there and he's going to be my eyes. I'm going to play this area over here. So what happens here is our S51 gets taken out by the ONE. So there's a possibility at this point that the ONE could actually be in the middle, or he could be somewhere back towards the castle still, because the S51 doesn't have the best of view ranges, but there's definitely a few tanks that could be spawning for that ONE to get that kill on that S51. But we'll start this back up here again. Now I'm gonna actually come down over here, and the ONE gets lit at a good opportunity for me because I have not rolled out into the open yet. I was originally planning to go a bit further south, but as we see here, we see the O&E light up, and I do get a shot into his side here. Again, the APCR rounds, because I don't know if I'm facing his front or his side. I don't know if he's going to turn his front to me, but I need these shots to count. While in the north, we're still losing tanks quite rapidly. And what our SU-85 here did is he took a shot at the Oni, and he drew the Oni's attention. I wouldn't exactly recommend this, but he did the right thing by pulling back after grabbing the Oni's attention, which allowed me to actually kill that Oni. So again, I'm taking a look. I'm trying to analyze the map here and look up north, and I still see, okay, those guys are pinned down there. They're staying there. So I figure, okay, I'm just gonna move to the south. We're gonna speed this up here real quick, because I'm just moving over to the south. And we can see on the minimap that those guys up north are starting to push into our guys. The KV-3 takes out the tank destroyer, which is a really big threat to me, because it's oftentimes hard to see a tank destroyer, even with the coated optics on this that I have on this vehicle. But I'm coming over here to this hill because, again, I want to use my tank's depression. And if we can see here, this tank has a great amount of depression. It's able to stay hull down very well. Probably one of the best tanks for it in World of Tanks, actually. The Swedes are definitely going to be one of the nations that will be playing hull down a majority of their time, and you should play all the Swedish tanks hull down. So I was rolling up here. I kind of figured that all those guys would just chase the kills up north, and that they would all be pushing north here. And it's at this point that I spot the KV-2. So what I'm going to do here is I stop. And I realized that KV-2, if we look on the minimap here, is very near the end of my spotting range, and he's a heavy tank, I'm a medium tank, so I immediately have a camo bonus over him. And I'm going to take this opportunity to stop. He's behind a few bushes. If we take a look here again, he's behind this tree here, and he's possibly behind or in this bush. But I'm taking a shot at him here while backing up so that I can get in cover in case he comes after me. Which, the first round bounces, I'm not exactly sure where that hits, but the next several do connect with a few bounces here and there with these APE rounds on this heavily armored tank. And again, the accuracy at extreme ranges like this looks like over 350 meters will be sort of combat ineffective with these AP rounds. The APCR rounds, I would say, are probably effective out to about 400, 450 meters. But the AP rounds are definitely shorter rounds. So at this point, I'm thinking, okay, he doesn't see me yet because he hasn't turned his turret towards me. But it's with this next round that I light up, or he at least realizes where I am. And I'm also pushing this dead tank behind me a little bit, which, if you guys can see here, I have no line of sight on this dead tank here. This is an allied dead tank over here, and if we were looking around more, we could see that all dead tanks will be constantly shown on their heads-up display. So if he actually sees this dead tank moving, he can get a very good guesstimate of where I am, and he might actually aim at the dead tank in order to try to hit me. But here I go, I fire off my last AP round as he launches a shell over me, and it does kill him invisibly. So now my next threat will be that M12, which I'm kind of staying behind this hill a little bit on an odd angle to the hill to not get hit by the M12, but we're going to be moving to the north here to try to take out these guys who may have stayed in the back. And I'm pretty sure that I can take the SU-152, and I see that our SU-85 is actually moving up here, which is another reason why I advance forward pretty much, I don't want to say recklessly, but aggressively as I am, because he's moving forward. I need to try to get up there and support him, and we'll actually see the SU-152 shows up there while our SU-85 is mostly in cover. However, the SU-85 either gets stuck on something or I don't know what, but the 152 does kill him. And as I'm coming up over the hill here, the first thing I notice about the SU-152 right here is that he doesn't have the derp. He's got the 122. So he's going to have a pretty quick rate of fire. He did just kill that SU-85, but he's going to be reloaded here any second as I'm firing on him. And we can see he does shoot me, and he does get around right through my mantlet into my gunner. So I instantly heal my gunner because I need that accuracy on this very open map. And again, I'm thinking here, I gotta watch out for that artillery. Okay, we're, the artillery may be in his last known position. I'm gonna head over that way. So I'm not driving directly at an artillery piece. Don't. There's two tanks you don't ever drive directly at: artillery and tank destroyers, because they will just absolutely destroy you. So coming up here on the left, I'm gonna take it to the left of this tank or of this artillery piece, and I'm gonna see if he's still there. And right there, I do see that he is there. I can also see from this angle that that's his gun. His gun's not looking at me. So at this point, I just kind of walk right up on him because he's not going to be able to kill me in one shot or get him around. There's very little chance that he's going to. And I use an HE round just to make sure to kill him because he has very thin armor. I don't want to waste these APCR rounds on a tank with no armor because I'm going to need them. And I'd rather have an AP or an APCR round when fighting other tanks than an HE because an HE has a chance to do very little damage. Right here, I pop up to see if anybody takes a pop shot at me. I have a few hit points to use here, so I can withstand about one or two more shots before I get killed after that on the next shot. So I pop up here to see if anything is looking at me, and nothing lights up, nothing shoots at me. So I have a very good indication that they're not in front of me. So I'm not going to hunker down here and wait for three tanks to jump me. No, I'm going to take the offensive. I'm actually going to move to the south here because I want to move away from where I was last seen and the direction that I was last seen in. And we're actually going to come up on this Stridsvagn 74 here again. This is the one that was the good player that I said I need to watch out for him because he is a pretty decent player, or at least he knows mostly what he's doing, and I actually do get the jump on him right here. So I don't know why, but he's looking at me. So I don't know why he doesn't take the shot, but I'm able to get a shot off first on him, and I take him out without receiving any shot. He may have had a dead gunner. He may have, not exactly lined up on me or realized that I would be looking right at him or right near him. So again here, I'm gonna peek up really quick to see if I get shot at, and I'm not really exposing too much of my tank for the guys below me. The guys below me are only going to be seen at the most the top of my turret and maybe a little bit of my hull. But I'm just taking another look over the hill here to see if I spot anything. And I don't spot anything, so I'm actually going to keep moving here. We're going to speed this up here again because it's a little bit before I find the next target. I'm going to actually move back towards that hill that I was at before because that is a decently defendable position. It may not seem like it, but if these two guys are coming at me from multiple directions, my reload is fast enough that I should be able to take them out one at a time. Because if they would come at me both together, probably from the same direction, and they were a bit healthy, I would be in a lot of trouble. But here I am. I'm going south here, and again, here's the dead tank thing again. There's the Oni. He's dead. He's well out of my view range, but he's in my draw distance. So just be careful about that. I'm just trying to find these other tanks right now, and I'm actually gonna come back up over here, and I'm going to take to the left because I pretty much cleared the whole middle, but there's now this whole section over here that I don't know if anything is over there. So I come over here and actually take a look to see if I see anything, and sure enough, there's the guy who was coming at me from the north. He's actually juking a little bit here, so I do want to get a traction on this instead of a kill shot, but he is tracked, he's stationary now, so the next round does kill him. And now I'm going to move forward this way because if he's coming from that direction, there's also a possibility that the 3045 is coming from that direction as well, and we're actually going to see the 3045 light up right here from proxy. And I see his health is actually in a double digits, so I know I have this one. The only way he could kill me is by ammo racking me at this point. So I roll up here, he takes a shot, he misses, but I just wait for a good profile, I'll put a round into him, and get the 8th kill. That's a Kalabanov medal, Radley Walters medal, Mastery Ace badge on the Stridsvagn 74, and a top gun as well. So that's what I was thinking. That's how to think through these kind of situations, is you want to make sure that you don't sit still. If you sit still, you're going to die because every enemy tank is going to know where you are, or is going to at least head towards your last known position or try to outflank your last known position. So you need to move. If you were spotted, you need to move. You need to get out and find a new position or try to be proactive and try to find the enemy. So that is the Stridsvagn 74, the tier 6 bruiser that I would say, with its high rate of fire, it's pretty decent accuracy, and it's very good pen. Uh, with that, guys, follow me on Twitch, follow me on YouTube here, and you guys will see me next time I'm streaming.